Defendant on behalf of Mr. Merrick, who's waiting to my right.
All right. Your name, sir?
David Merrick.
Thank you. Ms. Yagi, your motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are asking for reduction in Mr. American's bonds. I won't go into all the detail I did in my motion. I'll just mention a few things recently. Obviously, I know the court's well aware he's been in jail for quite some time. And the biggest thing that I wanted to highlight today are the changes that have taken place during his incarceration. I think one of the biggest ones is his meetings with PMH, his medication. He's now stable on his long-acting medication, injectable. I've been in touch with his sponsor and his parents, all of whom are very supportive. His sponsor told me that he has a great network of people. His sponsor's name is Patrick, and Patrick told me that both Patrick and Mr. Merrick have a network of people, a sober network of people. Has interest in going to the Alano Club for the meetings with Patrick, weekly meetings. And the other thing that I just want to highlight, because I just spoke with his parents again, well, his mom again today, and his mom told me that she notices the difference in the way that Mr. Merrick is speaking, in terms of, ironically, his mom said that when he gets out, he needs to come up with a schedule. He needs to come up with, this is what I'm going to do today, and this is my business I need to take care of. And she's already been talking to him about that. And she told me that Mr. Merrick is actually nervous about messing up, and he actually really wants to do what he's supposed to do. And she told me that that's a difference, because if he really is motivated and nervous and wanting to prove that he can do it and he will comply, she thinks that's a good sign. And so she, that's something she shared with me today. And she basically has been talking with him about that plan moving forward. He has a social worker at his apartment who I verified actually would come to him. So if he's released, I said, where would you absolutely need to go if you're released? And it's his apartment. His social worker could come visit, or social worker, caseworker, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, would come to his apartment to sort out his housing issue, try to, get that payment, get that sorted out. And then, that would be step one. And then the meetings, would be step two. But it does seem like he is in a much better place now than he was previously.
All right. And his housing is in place?
His apartment is in place. His mom was there this week. Yes.
All right. Response.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Merrick, it's like you've been here forever.
I had to take a seat, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Take a seat.
Yeah. As Ms. Yagi was talking and she was talking about the differences in you. A lot of times people think judges are sitting up here and they don't notice differences in people, and I notice a difference. There was a point where you came in, and I don't know if you recall this, you had actually been before me on something else. You came before me that time, and I'll just tell you, you were in bad shape.
I've had plenty of time to stabilize on my meds, get right with my post-start program, and basically make myself fit for being on the streets, because honestly, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was right where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And right now, it's like, I feel like if I'm released, whatever the conditions are, I'll be able to meet them because I'm competent and I'm sober and, I'm working the program.
All right. How many AANA meetings do you go to?
I prefer to go every day, but if I'm on home confinement, I could see shaving that number down just a little bit, because it's kind of hard to get a hold of Mr. Gates every day,
Right.
I just kind of leave to go to my meeting or wherever I want to go whenever I can get a hold. So it's like, 2-3 times a week would probably be just as good as 7.
Well, maybe. Let me ask you this. Do you think you need home confinement?
Honestly, like,
David, be honest with me. I mean, here's what I want. I would like to release you, but I want you to be a success. That's the most important thing to me.
So do you want to know the truth of the question you just asked?
Yes.
If you release me without home confinement, you may as well leave me.
Gotcha. You know what? No, I know. And
I do plan on, if there were home confinement granted, to comply. To not tell Mr. Casey I'm going somewhere and then go somewhere else like I did before.
yeah. Okay. You know what?
I discovered that was not the way to go.
You know what, David? You just gave me the answer to whether or not I should release you. Because I'm going to tell you, if I had asked you that question before, you would have lied to me. You would not have been able to bring yourself to tell me that you needed that.
It was hard. It was hard to admit to
Yeah.
you and to myself.
Yep. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and I'm going to do it this way, Michelle. I think it's probably going to be the best way to do this. I'm going to release a defendant on a PR. I'm going to sign an order for home confinement GPS tether. I will then set another hearing date, but what I want to see is after he's had a chance to talk with his mother, his worker, they go through details and kind of get himself adjusted. I want an order or something in terms of a plan for how he's going to proceed. Okay. I was just, we're going to set for an example instead.
That's correct.
Before who? Me? No. Judge Freshour. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you, sir.
Perhaps we could sign me up for double duty
Perhaps
that day.
what?
Double duty that day.
What do you mean double?
Well, I'm in here for that. That comes to you.
Tell you what. Well, no, I get what you're saying there, David. David, we're gonna do something a little bit different here, okay? Because your exam is set for this Tuesday, all right? Before Judge Freshour, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adjourn that preliminary examination to October 1st, but also before Judge Freshour. So I'm not changing the judge on that, okay? In the interim, that's going to allow Ms. Yagi to get the information that I just requested to me, allow you to settle in, figure out how you're going to do things, and allow Ms. Yagi to get an order to me prior to that point in time. Okay? That sound good? So it's like double duty, like you said, but it's just.
Are you asking me if a PR bond and home confinement sounds good and then until October 1st?
Well, right. You'll be on that till October 1st, but Ms. Yagi's going to get an order to me that's going to sort of structure what you're doing in the interim. Okay.
Yeah, as long as I can get a hold of Mr. Casey to go to my meetings, I'll go to all of them.
Okay.
And if I can't get a hold of anyone, here's the catch. I'm not going to leave the house if I can't get a hold of them.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set your bond at a $25,000 personal recognizance bond, GPS, home confinement prior to release. Okay, so as soon as they can get that on you, so it may not be till tomorrow, but as soon as they can get that on you, they'll release you. Ms. Yagi, I would expect an order within a week or 10 days. Okay, and that way, see it. And in the interim, I'm sure counsel will be trying to work something out to try to resolve the case itself. So this may all work out for you. Okay, David?
That'd be great.
And I apologize, Chairman, just for my clarification. So prior to the order, would Mr. Merriquin have permission to leave for a meeting, or does that not happen until I get the?
Nothing's going to happen until he can't leave for his meetings. You'll have to do them by Zoom or else until such time as there's an order in place which structures exactly what he's doing.
Okay. So
Okay.
we'll be in touch very soon. Okay. Thank you.
And I'll let Judge Freshour know I took one off of her. I don't think she'll be upset. We'll see. Okay. So we'll adjourn it to October 1st, 9 a.m.